The state of Texas is something that we're all proud of. And part of that Texas pride comes from the fact that it's a place that is as diverse as it is and embraces that diversity. In fact, it's what this great state was built upon.
People essentially want the same thing. They want fairness in their lives. They want real opportunity, a chance for their kids to go to good schools and get a good education, a chance for a good job at good pay. So the things that the Democratic Party has built over the years are exactly the things that we need to be standing up proudly for today, because that's what people want.
The whole reason that Houston exists as a megacity is because we were a transportation hub. We were where the railroads met the ships. One of the great frustrations for me as mayor of Houston is the complete lack of long-term thinking on the part of the Texas legislature and the lack of investment in infrastructure and transportation.
And to be able to accommodate all the many folks who are coming into our state because of jobs and things of that nature, we have to give those folks another way to move around.
You've got to have a total infrastructure plan. It just can't be roads. You've got to consider rail. You've got to consider the truck traffic. You've got to consider the thoroughfares and how to get around.
Our port is a vital part of the Houston economy, the state's economy, and indirectly the economy of the United States of America. So it's important that we maintain our port and that we make sure that it is capable of accommodating all of the new opportunities once the Panama Canal project is completed.
What's really critical is that we get the dollars that we need to deepen and widen the port to be able to receive ships that are going to be much larger, because if we don't, the economy will not grow.
We have kicked the can down the road as a state in transportation, in education, in water, in environmental issues. What we need now is Democrats standing up and saying, let us make these hard decisions. We're ready to lead.
I know that's what Wendy's campaign is about. I know that's what Letitia's campaign is about, and Mike and Sam and John and all the others. We truly want to be able to make sure that the Texas of tomorrow is better than the Texas that we found today.
When I first entered the political arena, a report was given out that El Paso was going to run out of water in 25 years. A lot of people don't know it, but El Paso sits on top of 2 oceans full of water. They're underground aquifers.
So our leadership decided that we would construct a desalination plant. So we have the world's largest inland desalination plant out here at Fort Bliss. And that plant now has really saved the day for us, because it's bringing up brackish water that's not potable water and converting it after treatment into potable water, so that our water supply is secure at least for the next 50 years.
Well, I think El Paso served as a great example for the rest of Texas in conservation. Anything we can do to spread that across the state, I think, is a benefit to all of Texas.
We have some issues here locally involving the quality of education, the investment in education, the leadership that we have in the educational arena. I think that we as a state do not invest enough in education, and yet we all know that the fastest growing, youngest population in the country is right here on the border.
I think the Texas promise is a promise that we make to our children and our grandchildren. And that's that we all envision them having a better life than we had. And that means we have to give them opportunity. You have to educate if you want people to be prosperous.
The border region is about 1.2 million people. If you were to include the cities that are contiguous to the cities north of the river, I mean, you're looking at a population of over 3.5 million people.
If it wasn't for some very historic events, we'd still be part of Mexico. And honoring that heritage and being mindful of people's pride for where they come from, I think is very American. And it should be the goal of Texas, to welcome diversity.
Immigration reform has several aspects to it. There is the human factor, the fact that you have so many undocumented immigrants in this country who have lived here for many years, who are hardworking people, who don't commit crimes, who are not on public assistance, whose children are going to school, who pay taxes. We believe, Democrats, that if you come to this country, if you play by the rules, and if you do your best to become a great American, then you should deserve the opportunities that this great country offers you.
I think that the party needs to continue to grow. I think that we've lost that touch with the youth, and I think that that's where our hope and our future is with the youth.
I think our numbers are great. If we were to just have a high voter turnout of people who are registered, we can make a significant difference. Just vote in your best interest. Don't vote for the candidate, vote for yourself. And if you vote for yourself, you'll elect Democrats.
I was born and raised in San Antonio. We were raised by some dynamic parents, and just like every parent, they wanted us to be successful, they want us to work hard. They also wanted us to be compassionate. What they always taught us is that we needed to give back to a community that gave us so much. When you look at the political parties in this state, there's only one party that really cares about that true commitment to giving back to a community that has given us so much, and that's the Democratic Party.
You know, I think my constituents are not any different than constituents necessarily in any other place. They really worry about the future of their kids. And you know, as a parent, there's nothing that's more important. Those kinds of issues, I think they're not only important in San Antonio, they're important in El Paso and in all of the small towns scattered throughout the 23rd District.
I mean, here in San Antonio, the firefighters and police officers are currently negotiating with the city for their collective bargaining. I cannot tell you how thankful and how appreciative I am knowing that we have capable men and women within these departments that give up their lives, if necessary, to protect us.
People call us on their worst times. People call us when they're in need. We don't ask what color, what race, what religion you are. We come when you call. That's why we need people to protect the things that we've already worked for. People to protect our families should we have to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Today, the Democratic Party doesn't look like what it looked like in the 1950s or the 1960s. But some of those core values about hard work, about taking care of your family, about making sure that your kids have an opportunity are part of the pillars of what today would be that democratic establishment, that philosophy of making sure that we all have a shot, making sure that we all have a chance at that American dream that so many people talk about.
The promise of this state, you can see by looking at different parts of our state. And Dallas, Texas is a key part of that fabric. A wonderful financial center and place that has created a lot of opportunity.
Dallas represents an island of blue and a sea of red. And the reality is we're trying to make certain that we take this island of blue and turn it into a state of blue. And so that's our state of mind in Dallas, and we want to make certain that the entire state has that objective and goal in mind in 2014. What I see is people want to make certain that they have an equal opportunity to be able to raise their families right, to be able to get a quality education, be able to get employment opportunities.
People want us to go to the Capitol and work together in a bipartisan way and take care of their children's education, make sure they have an opportunity, make sure that if they're willing to work hard, they can become anything that they dream of being. They want to know that they live in a state where their decision makers are going to make decisions based on what really matters to them and what's in their interest. This is the kind of state that I'm proud to live in.